Hey there, hockey fans. Nick Hart back here. I know it's the off season, but we're not forgetting about you, Penguins fans. We're back with our one-on-one interview series this summer, and it is my great pleasure to be joined by Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins captain Taylor Fedun, who is back with the black and gold, a 2-year contract extension signed with the Pittsburgh Penguins just last week. Feds, let me start by welcoming you back to the organization. I know I, for one, was absolutely pumped to hear the news that you had re-upped for not just 1, but 2 years with the club. Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Excited about the next 2 years.
I know I am, but sounds like you are. So that's a pretty good place to start. I want to thank you for taking some time out of your summer, your off season. I know you've got some busy stuff going on with you and your family, but I'll start with pretty boilerplate question. I just want to know, what was your experience like your first year in the Penguins organization, and that made you want to come back for 2 more seasons?
Yeah, I mean, it was great. I think in the organization we get treated very well. We're given all of the tools that we might need in order to be successful and bring the best product on the ice. So I think we've got an amazing staff that we work with, coaching staff, and then our medical and strength guys as well. And it's a really fun atmosphere to be a part of. And I think last year we started something that, you know, I felt like I was a big part of, and I really wanted to continue that. And that's ultimately really excited to be here for another 2 years so we can keep building off that.
And to come back, figure out where you're going to be, put down roots. And sometimes for some free agents, it's a new city. Sometimes it's staying at one place. I know a lot of times these things become family decisions. And in your case, I know you and your wife welcomed your second son earlier mid last season. You got 2 kids now, right? 2 sons.
Correct, yeah.
What was your whole family's experience like, even outside the rink, outside in northeastern Pennsylvania? I'm guessing everyone enjoyed things if you're coming back for 2 more years.
Yeah, absolutely. We love the community. The neighborhood that we lived in last year couldn't have been more welcoming. I think within the first few weeks we met just about all our neighbors, and they were super welcoming. It was a really fun community to be a part of. Yeah, the logistics of life change a little bit once you have 2. So to be able to get the deal done nice and early here allows us to really plan for next year and try and find things like daycares for the boys and the stuff away from the ice, so that, you know, we can get that squared away nice and early, and then really just focus on hockey when training camp rolls around.
Spoken like a true veteran there, all about the preparation, getting everything taken care of ahead of time so we can just focus on hockey when the season rolls around. This past season, your first with Wilkes-Barre Scranton, you were also named the team's captain before the start of the season. I know the Penguins coaching staff was excited about bringing you in as a leader. You showed that leadership early on and really throughout the year, but how was that experience for you, putting the C on your chest and being leaned on by younger players, being that line of communication between the coaching staff? How was that whole step in your career, first time as a captain with the Pens?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think at this stage in my career, I was ready for the extra responsibility. You know, there's a little bit more than just playing the game that goes into it when you're in a leadership role like that. But I think the relationship I had with our coaching staff, I mean, I couldn't have been more happy with the lines of communication and the way that we were able to work together throughout the year. And we had, for the most part, a pretty young team. So it's nice to be able to bring something to the table, and not just on the ice, but hopefully, you know, be able to be there as a bit of a mentor, or at least a sounding board for some of the younger guys to, you know, help them with things when I can. And yeah, it was a role that I really enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to being in it for another couple of years.
And that sort of leads me into my next question. When I kind of think back to some of the highlights from this past season for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, one that quickly comes to mind is you scoring the overtime game winner in what was your 400th AHL game. It was this huge moment, big dub over the Syracuse Crunch at home. But then I realized that was the last time we saw you in a Penguins uniform. Unfortunately, you had to finish the season on the shelf. weren't able to make it back in time for playoffs. You and I had spoken previously on an episode of our podcast, how during rehabbing injuries and things like that, there's a little bit of isolation that you can feel, even though you're around the team, but you're not really with the team. In this instance, how did you try and still lead and be a mentor and be a captain and be as involved as you possibly could, even though you were still kind of battling through your own kind of injury things there at the end of the year?
Yeah, it's, we touched on it before. It's certainly difficult when you're not on the bench, when you're not preparing for games, or even for a lot of it, I wasn't even in practice. So that's tough being away from it in that respect. But it was, there was a lot of work that I needed to put in to try and get healthy again. So especially on practice days, I was at the rink early and had to stay late a lot of times. So I tried to be as involved as I could and still be around off ice kind of stuff. I was always there, staying involved in team meetings and stuff, and still being able to sit and just have conversations with the guys in the locker room, whether it's when we're getting dressed or having lunch in the afternoon. I was still able to be present in those moments, so tried to make the most of that.
Maximize that time while you can, and once again, the value that you brought to this team as a leader is what extends beyond what goes on the ice. So glad you were able to still apply those responsibilities, even though you were on the shelf there for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Now, next season, the next 2 seasons, we'll be looking to build upon what we already saw from Taylor Fedun and the Penguins this year, carry it forth into the next 2 years. But before we're worried about 2022, 23, or even 23, 24, we got the summer, we got the off season, a little bit of time to decompress. Do you have any fun summer plans with you and the family coming up this off season?
Yeah, we got a few good things coming. We actually just moved into a new house, so we've got a new space and a couple projects that are currently keeping us busy, but it's more space for the boys, more area for all their toys to fill up. And then my parents were just visiting for almost a month, so they went back home, and then we made plans to head back to Edmonton for a chunk of July, get to spend some time with them, and then my brother and his 2 young kids there as well. So that'll be really nice to get to spend some time with family. And then into August, we have a trip planned with my wife's side of the family. There's a lot of young kids now, so it's the dynamics of a family vacation look a little different than they did a number of years ago, but certainly looking forward to that, and really just spending time with the family. It's there's no road trips for me being away in the summer, so I'm gonna try and soak it up as much as I can.
It sounds like there's a lot of quality family time on the docket there. That's doing the off season right there. Once again, veteran savvy being shown even in the off season by Taylor Fedun. And Feds, before we let you go and get back to whatever home improvement project or a family function you have coming up here, got to wish you a happy birthday. You got a birthday coming up this Saturday, so me and the rest of the Penguins faithful give you a little salute there. Happy birthday, Feds. What are you turning now? Like what, 22, 23?
It's something like that. I haven't checked in a while.
Haven't checked in a while, and nor should you. But it was a great.
Still young at heart. Still young at heart.
Young at heart, wise between the ears. The perfect combination. Taylor Fedun, ladies and gentlemen. Feds, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to me once again. I'm absolutely thrilled that we're going to have you back here with the Penguins organization. Last season was great with you as the captain. Looking forward to even greater things in 22-23 and 23-24.
Yes, sir. Excited as well. Happy to be back.